And when you're already in the field of doing this human robotic interaction, you already in the space of thinking, well, I'm interacting with this thing, and it has some kind of AI, some kind of a conscious, maybe some kind of wisdom, and it's interacting with me, and it really gets your head thinking, well, where this thing can lead us, or how far will it go? This interaction will go. When you're getting to those thoughts, you need to really start thinking about what is your boundaries, or where do you want to take this technology?
Welcome to 20-Minute Leaders. Just sit back, relax, and learn from the leaders of today. It's a journey. Each one is different, unique, inspiring. Let's get started. 20-Minute Leaders is a proud supporter of Make-A-Wish Israel and Tech to Peace, and is in proud collaboration with Secret Chord Ventures, J Ventures, Riverside FM, Fusion VC, Birthright Excel, J Impact, Leap, Google for Startups, and Hippo, and in media partnership with CTech. Hello and welcome to 20-Minute Leaders. We are starting this episode talking about robots and ethics, and then we're transitioning to looking at how robots in agriculture are transforming our everyday lives and those of farmers, but in a byproduct, that of the way we consume food and everything around us. Meet Michal, Roizman, Vaida. Michal received her Bachelor's of Arts in Communications at the Interdisciplinary Center of Herzliya. She spent 2 years as a research assistant and then a research team lead at the Media Innovation Lab at IDC, researching the field of human robotic interaction. Her research on robots and ethics led her to write a poster paper that was accepted to the International HRI Conference. Following her degree, she was a project manager in designing the smart home robot for Samsung Korea, outlining the different aspects needed to take into consideration when designing a companion robot. Following that, she joined an innovation program at IDC with the goal to create innovations that solve 21st century challenges. In this program, she founded with her co-founders BeeHero. BeeHero increases crop yield through precision pollination, combining sophisticated machine learning algorithms with low-cost sensors to simulate full output potential during peak pollination cycles. Today, Michal is the Vice President Product of Blue White Robotics, a company that provides numerous autonomous solutions, including the Blue White Robotic Kit that transforms any tractor to an autonomous one. She is also a Forbes 30 Under 30 recipient. I'm really excited to talk to you about robots, how they're intersecting our life. You are a co-founder of one of the most incredible companies in the world, BeeHero, which I have the honor of being a very small part in. Today, you're a vice president of product at Blue White Robotics, similar space, looking at how robots are changing the way that we interact with the world around us quite literally. What I think is fascinating is going back a little bit also to your time at the IDC, talking a little bit about robots and ethics and how this is playing out to sort of a greater vision that you have in your own life, your own journey. And after all, this whole show is about this single question of why do you do what you do? And so we're going to uncover it together in 20 short but meaningful minutes. So again, Michal, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you. We'll try to do it in 20 minutes. I'll try to do my best to explain the idea.
Take me back to your own relationship with robots, ethics, and the world. How did this whole thing come about?
So basically at IDC, we have at IDC the Me Lab, and I had the great privilege of being one of the research assistants there. And it's just fascinating, to realize there's a whole world that researches the field of human-robot interaction. So most of us are familiar with HCI, which is human-computer interaction, and it means all the interaction that we have with our apps, with our phone, with our with computers, and then you take it to the higher level of robots. And basically, when people think about robots, they think about humanoid robots, things they see at movies. But robots can be anything that is hardware with intelligence. It can also be a handle of a door. And if you put eyes on something, it automatically makes you feel something about it. So all of this field of understanding that robots are going to be more common in our life made me to think that the part that I want to investigate and research is the part of ethics. And it really
why do you observe that this is a worthwhile conversation to have? I know it does, but I'm curious to hear why is this a pressing matter that you're going to devote time to thinking about ethics in robots?
This is a great question. I think that we're developing technology and not always stop to think how it will affect our life. And when you're already in the field of doing this human robotic interaction, you're already in the space of thinking, well, I'm interacting with this thing and it has some kind of AI, some kind of a conscious, maybe some kind of wisdom, and it's interacting with me. And it really gets your head thinking, well, where this thing can lead us, or how far will it go? This interaction will go. When you're getting to those thoughts, you need to really start thinking about what is your boundaries or where do you want to take this technology. And I just started to read every article that was ever published on human robotic interaction with the effects of ethics. And it's just fascinating. And I think that we don't put enough thought on the way we build technology, taking into consideration the effects of where the technology can, develop and how it will affect us. And it's very complex and can be even mean in a way if we're thinking about robots, going to fight wars for us, or if we're going to get robots to be part of our house, of our relationship, maybe. There are a lot of movies and books made out of this. But yeah, when I was really investigating this field, I just realized how we just run, developing the technology without just stop for a second and ask ourselves the hard questions of how will it, eventually will affect us.
Yeah, I think it's a fascinating conversation. My personal specialization within Stanford is human AI computer interaction. So I feel very much similar thoughts and ideas. And you're touching on some really, interesting questions, consciousness, ethics, and stuff like that, which is tremendously important, especially as you're mentioning that the rate of innovation is increasing. And so, we're seeing these technologies deployed really, all around us today. We're not far from robots getting into wars or robots entering our house. It actually sort of has happened already without us noticing. Michal, you're taking this more now to the agriculture side, first with BeeHero, now with Blue White Robotics. Tell me about robots in agriculture. Where did that come from? So,
my title for that is more of a technology in agriculture and even more technology that empowers people. So, my take on that, or the thing that I feel passionate about, is how we can take technology and use it for good, and to empower us. And if we're talking about robots, not to replace us, which is automatically what people think when we're talking about robots. They're going to replace us. So I think that our mind needs to go to find innovative ways of how technology can empower us. So in BeeHero, it's an example, and also in Blue White Robotics. So we're talking about food scarcity, world population that is growing, scarcity of labor, and it's a huge problem. And we're seeing the tractors that are part of the agricultural world for years. And we understand that, okay, there's no labor, there's not more agricultural fields for us to grow food. So we need to find how are we going to make the best of every part that we have. We need to really seize the potential. And it leads to the technology. And we have the tractors. And what we do in Blue White Robotics is that we put this kits that can transform any existing tractor from any manufacturer and transform it to autonomous. And then you can manage a fleet of autonomous robots that just run in the farm. They can be more efficient and can really seize the potential that you wanna get from your farm, which is, I think, a way to find a solution to a huge problem of food scarcity. which is also
fascinating.
What we're trying to do at BeeHero. So
you're looking at how do we take existing machinery and how do we create through external forces. We're introducing sort of this autonomous chip that is going to be able to allow agriculture farmers or landowners to be able to then manage this autonomous fleet to obviously be more efficient than a traditional human, right?
Yes, and also the fact that you don't have enough people that want to do this job.
Right, right.
Hard for the farmers to find people that are willing to work, and then you just see, the yields throwing away because there's not enough labor in order to take care of that. So,
right. A robot doesn't need to sleep necessarily, right? Maybe it overheats sometimes, but we can solve that. But it doesn't get tired. It doesn't become less efficient over time.
Work overnight, 24/7, which is very important because in agriculture you have an importance of the time when you do the tasks and the time of day, the season. It's really important to be very precise in order to get the best. So
I'd love to take your look from your own passion and fascination with robot-human interaction and transitioning it into specifically what you're doing with the Blue White Robotics. So, looking more, theoretically, I guess, on this idea of robots in agriculture and what Blue White Robotics is doing, what are some of the really interesting questions that you need to deal with, either as an organization or yourself, in regards to exactly the questions that you were researching back in the IDC? You're introducing this whole new technology. It's changing behavior. It's changing the way the world is working. What are different things that you have to keep in mind?
Yeah. So first of all, autonomy. This is something that can make people get really stressed, especially if you're a farmer and you need to bring this technology, this really state-of-the-art technology into your own backyard. So it's really important as a product to be able to provide this sense of, safety. Everything is with this huge robot, with this huge machine, is okay. And it's in control. And also to make it as easy as possible, because at the end, you want to replace something that people are used to do for hundreds of years or maybe, dozens of years, and to do it as simple as possible to, just change the tractor from a manual state to autonomous state and to be able to control a fleet of a few tractors as seamlessly as possible. And it's a huge challenge to do so.
What did you find is most helpful in gaining quick confidence? So taking somebody who's looking at their land and saying, wow, I'm not really sure that I'm ready for a vehicle to autonomously operate on my land. This is my livelihood. This is my business. What do you need to do as an organization to garner trust amongst, the stakeholder here? What's been most effective?
So it's really important for us to be there at the field with the clients. We are there with them, operating the tractors, showing them how we are doing that from within the company. And we are there in this process, and we're not, running to anywhere. We are there to show them, to educate them.
So is it mainly in hands-on POC? Do they actually see a demo? Is it more of, an offline presentation?
It's more of a presentation. We are there, boots on the ground, in the farms for a period of time to make them see. It's a kind of a process. First, we show them a POC, and if they're choosing to enter us to the farm, we are there for a period of time. Working there, operating the tractors, showing them the technology, and step by step, we're going back, and they are replacing us in the stand of managing this fleet of tractors. And it's really important also to show the technology, to get them really close, to see how the robot is thinking, how the computer is thinking, how is the algorithm thinks, and to make the interface of the fleet management very user-friendly and very similar to other apps you know, and not making you do a whole degree just to understand how to operate the fleet.
And so once you get introduced, what is sort of this, and again, this is stemming from my own personal passion and curiosity for how humans around the world are interacting with robots.
Yeah.
It's taking place the first day, the first run of an autonomous vehicle that is sort of changing the behavior of the landowner, the farmer, now with sort of this autonomous machinery. What is the reaction? How do people, sort of when they talk to you or Blue White Robotics, how do they react to this immediate transition that's happening? It's sort of like this binary 0 to 1.
So, first of all, we're trying to be as good as, first of all, the basic layer of being as good as a human driver. So I think that the reaction in the beginning is, first of all, to see the safe side. So people want to see that it stops when it understands that there is some kind of an obstacle in front of it, if it's a human or a vehicle, so of some sort. And then when we pass this level, they're looking to see if it's drive accurately enough, if it's in the middle, it's the implement that is connected to the tractor is doing the job properly. And, sometimes the clients get inside the tractor to see how it works inside. And it's a weird experience in the beginning. It was weird also for me. I can honestly say, because you're sitting inside a tractor and everything just moves, everything. And it looks like there is a ghost inside the tractor. Somebody is moving this.
Right.
It's really, it's weird in the beginning. And then it's just fascinating to see everything. The tractor, the robot understand the field, it understand the terrain, it understand the condition, if it's day or night, or what is the type of crop. All of this just get into the way it operates inside the field, and you can just see seamless work, very efficient, and as I said, 24/7, which is super important for our customers to get the best that they can.
Right. So I imagine that still today, most food that we eat is grown in outside farms. Different debate on when it'll transition more to indoor. But let's say, still like 99% of the world is operating this way. Mm-hmm. I'm curious, what is it going to take for a company like Blue White Robotics to get to expand globally so that everywhere in the world it is both economical and also self-sustaining? In other words, how far are we from sort of this humanity-wise step function to the point where our farms are completely autonomous and we're able to increase our crop yield universally?
So not so far, I must say, because the autonomous kit, it's just the add-on kit. You don't need to buy anything. You don't need to change anything in your farm. The robot suits itself to the environment, and the platform suits itself to any existent environment. It's super easy. Easy to get the robot inside the farm. Then the algorithm learns the environment, and then it just operates that. So it's not something we're seeing it already happening. We're seeing it already making the operation more efficient, more reliable, even more safe. You don't want people to be inside a tractor when it's spraying chemicals. It's not something people should do in 21st century. So even that effect is full with good impact. So it's something that we see already today. And if you ask me about scale, we have our plan to scale, and it's not something I see as a challenge that can be achieved. It's just we're going from one farm to another, expanding, getting to new environments, learning how the algorithm needs to improve itself, learning how to build a better product in an good agile method, one step at a time.
I love it. I love it. What do you love most about what you do? Where do you get your own sort of why resolved?
I think that once you get into areas in which you feel that the product or technology that you're creating is doing a direct impact on somebody's life, you meeting the clients and you see, wow, what you did really affected what I do in my day-to-day. And it's not some, I don't know, abstract story you tell about it. It's really direct. It gives me great pleasure. This is my answer when I ask myself what I do. And for me personally, it's also to do something that is good for the world. I don't know if it will sound a bit of a cliche, but it's really important for me to know that when I go to work and I put all of this effort in something, it should be something I believe in, and it should be something that will help society. And agriculture is a fascinating world. As you see, I'm in this world in the last years. I think it's if we're connecting it to the beginning of our talk, then it's really a place where you can bring technology, a place that had minimum technology, 20 years ago, and you saw, it started with some sensors getting into this field, and maybe some kind of management apps. And now you see the robots inside, and there are a lot to do in order to make agriculture better, to help us, help us. I think it's a fascinating world. I'm happy to be in.
Well, I'm just glad that the Vice President of Product at Blue White Robotics, and it sounds like this company is making a tremendous impact and is really pushing forward sort of our own cognitive understanding of what it means to have robots transformed our agriculture environment. I guess the reason I was asking about how these drivers are now experiencing this autonomous vehicle, because it could also give an interesting viewpoint on how we as consumers are going to experience the shift to autonomous vehicles on the roads. Obviously different, still from a human to human perspective, very, very interesting. But I'm glad that, in your position, you're going back fundamentally to understanding that there are significant implications of the way these robots are interacting with humans. It's not a trivial idea. And so it requires a lot of thinking and responsibility. And Michal, thank you so much for the time and the inspiration. Best of luck with everything that you do. And I highly appreciate your work. Thank you very much.
Thank you.